the Democrats have been pushing for some sort of gun control measures to pass for a long time in Congress. At this point, what would you say is the main focus for the Democrats in convincing the Republicans to pass in terms of gun control?
To get over the semantics and think about the death and the pillage and the loss of life, and that no one asked for their voter registration card or their party affiliation. We're really pushing for gun safety, sensible gun safety legislation. I've been doing this preceding my time coming to the United States Congress. As a member of the Houston City Council, I introduced the first gun bill that had ever been passed by the Houston City Council dealing with children and guns and parents not taking responsibility for that when we're losing so many children taking guns from underneath the mattress and shooting themselves. Right now, we are saying that we are the civilized nation that has the highest number of gun deaths, the highest number of guns, that we have had mass killings that are so brutal, you cannot imagine that there would not be sensible gun safety legislation. How can you suffer 20 children being slaughtered? How can you suffer 9 religious members praying being killed, or young people enjoying a nightclub being killed, or those celebrating country music? It is not a respecter of your party affiliation, the music you like, your lifestyle, your faith, or anything else. I'll never get over Sandy Hook or Mother Emanuel, church that I went to and sat down. So what do we have here today? We have a bill that they would not even accept my amendments about domestic violence and stalking. They wouldn't accept my amendment that if you were convicted of that, if you were convicted of a hate crime, they wouldn't accept that amendment as well. I mean, do we really realize that there are 12 states that have no rules? You can just have open carry. That means that that person out of those 12 states can go anywhere else and create havoc, not only on innocent victims, but law enforcement officers are the first ones that have to stop them on the streets. So where's the gun safety sense, but where is the humble acknowledgement that people die? And so Democrats are not in any fight about guns. The Second Amendment is well confirmed. We're in a fight about gun safety legislation, reasonable, protected by the Supreme Court, that said that you do not have to have a Second Amendment that is unfettered or unregulated. So I'm pretty darn mad about this. I'm hot. I'm getting ready to go to the floor of the House. I don't know how many pictures I have to show of dead people for us to realize, or wounded people, or children, or disproportionate numbers in various neighborhoods that are victims of gun violence, even though it's all over the nation. But we know Chicago, that nobody mentions, suffers from gun violence. So I'm a little tiffed here. When is it going to happen? But I just finished by saying we have hope.
Now, you've probably heard some Republicans point to cases where the person who carried out a shooting, a mass shooting, actually passed a background check. So how do you deal with that, where they're actually, some of them passing background checks, but still carrying out some of these tragedies in these shootings?
Well, one, how often are we reviewing individuals that carry gun permits? Two, the weapons, the assault weapons that certainly should be considered for a ban, or the bump stocks that even after Las Vegas, they couldn't even put a bill in to ban the utilization of bump stocks. So we have to look at not taking away guns, but being sensible, and then universal background check will help. There will be individuals who have passed a gun check and have the guns. The perpetrator in Charleston, South Carolina, never passed it because the gun store owner decided it was taking too long, and they sold him the guns without fully checking his background. So stringent laws on how you not able to waive the gun check. And I think when you begin to make those kinds of steps, you'll begin to see the diminishing of violence. Yes, there will be some who pass the background check, but there will be others that we will catch and save lives. If I can save one life, there is hope. One life, there is hope.
And I wanted to ask you, too, about the Washington Post, because they actually reported on the fugitives, that the definition was changed by the Department of Justice, the fugitives, and now a lot of them have been released from the database that they have right now, and they can buy a gun. Are you concerned about that? Is there any change you want to see made?
That is a report that I'm going to be checking on, and obviously I am very concerned about the fact that these persons are missing and can't be found, but you would not list them. Obviously, under the justice system, some of those individuals may have the right to petition or press the case about their status. Well, let them come forward and press the case, but don't just release them where they cannot be checked in systems that involve the NCIS.